कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Biden wins battle to become 46th U.S. president. Businessman threatens legal action against Feroz Gulam. And hundreds enjoy FBC's Diwali Doom show.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Democrat Joe Biden captured the U.S. presidency as voters narrowly rebuffed Republican Donald Trump's leadership and embraced Biden's promise to fight the coronavirus pandemic and fix the economy in a divided nation. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has congratulated the United States President-elect Joe Biden, who has gained 273 electoral votes to win the election. In a tweet, Bainimarama acknowledged the new U.S. president on the win, urging Biden on working together with other countries in their bid to save the planet from the impacts of climate change. He says now more than ever, they need the USA at the helm of their multilateral efforts. Biden is the 46th American president. Bar businessman Jay Dial has threatened to take legal action against logger and former National Federation Party proposed candidate Feroz Gulam Mohammed for making serious allegations of corruption against him. Amongst many allegations, Mohammed, who claims to be a paid-up member of the NFP, alleges Jay Dial bribed the government to give him a mahogany subcontract. However, Jay Dial has outrightly refuted these allegations, saying Feroz Gulam Mohammed needs mental treatment. Pranita Prakash reports.
Loga Feroz Gulam Mohammed, who actively criticizes many people on social media, has now decided to attack bar businessman Jay Dial. Mohammed alleges that he suffered more than $7 to $8 million in losses due to a corrupt mahogany deal between Dial and the government, and that Dial became the president of the Fiji Sawmillers Association with 4 dishonest sawmillers.
तो वो शर्म खाई because वो बहुत भारी पंडित बना है अपने आप के.
He was never a member of the Fiji Sawmillers Association, though he joined the group that lobbied for mahogany licenses in 2013. In 2013, we all know Fiji First Party was not formed when licenses were granted. So him to be quoting that we made a deal with Fiji First Party is grossly untrue. Other members of the Fiji Sawmillers Association were not granted licenses simply because they had not applied for it. These licenses were applied in individual capacity, not as an association. So there is no question of dividing any particular allocation amongst sawmillers. And the claims by Feroz in this respect is also untrue.
Mohammed alleges Jay Dial is a corrupt and dishonest person who cuts deal with the government on behalf of the former Lands Minister Ashnil Sudhakar.
कंडीशन रहा जय दयाल के कि सुधाकर के एक पोर्टफोलियो मिली, तबे सुधाकर एक पोर्टफोलियो मिला उसके.
What he's saying about doing personal attacks on me is basically libelous and it's a defamatory nature. And his claims regarding former Minister Sudhakar to be granted a post is so. All in all, I have to say that Feroz needs mental help, and from his comments, I can only conclude or deduce that he is a liar of highest order.
Dial says Feroz Gulam Mohammed needs mental help and has threatened to take legal action against him. Mohammed recently called for a coup in Fiji, for which he was questioned about while in custody. He left for New Zealand after his release and has been there ever since. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2 Diwali Doom has been hailed a success, with hundreds of Fijians taking part in the fun-filled event. The annual event by the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation once again did not fail to impress the public, with a wide range of cultural events and competitions organised. The radio personalities, local TikTokers and traditional dancers created a vibrant and colourful atmosphere at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva last night. Vinina Rakautonga with the details.
During these unprecedented times, what better way than to spend a night of glamour and entertainment?
Because I think people are hungry for entertainment. It's been a very strange year for everyone. We haven't had many social occasions to go out and celebrate. And this is one of the first big events that have happened this year. And I think that's why people are out.
The event illustrated the true meaning of a multicultural Fiji, as Fijians of other religious backgrounds also came to enjoy.
I heard about this event last week, so I decided to bring my grandchildren to come and also celebrate the spirit of Diwali with our Hindu brothers and sisters.
Renowned TikToker Sangeeta Mala, fondly known as Mala Dancer, says traveling from the West for the show was worth it.
This is beautiful perform here, and Mirchu showed the Mirchi Dhamaka show. So I love to hear everyone. I see everyone here.
Fans and listeners were given the chance to meet their favorite radio personalities.
Really like today's event since there was so many foods to eat, and I got to meet so many TikTokers.
It is I got to meet the TikTok fans and all them. So I really love it. There is an amazing event that I really love it, and also all TikToks are very nice. Ekdam alag se.
FPC Chief Executive Riaz Syed Qayyum says the next event will definitely be bigger and better.
I want to wish everyone a happy Diwali, and I want to thank all the fans of Radio Fiji 2 and Mirchi for coming. And obviously now we know that there's a hunger for this sort of events. We'll make it bigger and better next year.
The Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2 Diwali Doom show also featured various competitions, which included a poster, thali and rangoli making. Vinyan Rakotonga, FPC News.
Up ahead, villagers become self-reliant, and Sabah clarifies Diwali prayer time.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Villagers in the Southern Lao Group have stressed that they do not wait for the government to always provide assistance as they take matters into their own hands. Following any natural disasters, the villagers react quickly to rebuild and rehabilitate, which has strengthened their resilience. UN Resident Coordinator Sanaka Samarasina says this sense of optimism struck most government and UN officials during the joint intervention and community awareness in Moala, Totoya, Matuku, Vatoa and Onoi Lao. Jasaina Nunga visited the islands and files this report.
Self-help or resilience is prevalent in most rural and maritime communities, which has been a norm for years.
At least at a very minimum, learn that what we do must not take away what they already have, which is their resilience. We should not create a culture of dependency, where they're able to find local solutions for the problems they face, but they don't because they wait for some assistance to come, and probably that assistance will take a very long time if it'll come at all because of the distance.
Ono District Representative Ilyasa Talbutu says they felt the impact of recent tropical cyclone Harold and massive storm surges.
After a disaster, we mobilize whatever resources we have to ensure everyone is safe and life goes back to normal, because we always expect that assistance will reach us after a few weeks due to our location. We have learned from our past, and that's what have been driving us over the years.
The UNRC stressed the awareness has enabled the team to gauge real issues on the ground and the need to strengthen coordination between the government, UN agencies and relevant stakeholders. Josayena Nunga, FBC News.
The Sanatan Dharam Fraternity Sabah of Fiji says there should not be any confusion with the time for Diwali prayer this year. A lot of questions were being raised by the Hindu followers due to the fact that Diwali Puja will be aired on the radio stations at 3 p.m. Pranita Prakash has the details.
The Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha of Fiji has clarified a number of auspicious times are available for Diwali prayer this year.
It is a festival time. The tithis are also, good times are also available thereafter, and therefore there should be no confusion.
The national president says those celebrating Diwali can continue with their prayers.
There are some very auspicious times within this time, like on the 15th, there are auspicious times when you should do the Lakshmi Prarthana or Puja. That is at 6:24 in the morning you will start, and the auspicious time is 9:41 to 11:18. That's one auspicious time. There is then from 2:32 p.m. to 4:09 p.m. That is also a good time, and 7:24 till 10:09.
But the main significance of the Diwali is to have the inner light. I mean, decorating the house is one of the things that you do for your pleasure, but you really get a happiness if you have the lights lit inside your heart, so that you have fair with everybody and have compassion with everybody. And
Diwali is the Indian festival of lights, usually lasting 5 days. It symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. Diwali this year falls on November 15th. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Struggles will be a thing of the past for small business owner Miriamo Lalakombatiki. Lalakombatiki is the first prize winner for the Fiji Bloom Business Accelerator Program, an initiative under South Pacific Business Development in assisting rural women in their micro-businesses. Vinina Rakautonga reports the Verata Uduina Vanua native was among the 19 women who were awarded.
Introducing innovative ideas to expand her business was one of the key contributions to Lalakombatiki's success.
I live near the seashore, and our main source of income is just fishing, seafood, lobsters, octopus, fresh fish, seaweeds. And from that time, I started planning to sell seafood packs.
The 60-year-old says the global pandemic has affected her sales and she had to look at alternatives to cushion the impacts.
The price has been going low, especially when we do selling in the market. We hardly see people come and buy. From morning till midday, about 4 o'clock, they will come.
SPBD Director Elrico Munoz says they have also helped other entrepreneurs who are struggling.
Their loans, so we had a repayment holiday of 6 months. Then after that, we even restructured their existing loans so that they can stretch it to another 52 weeks. Then in addition to that, we also provide business recovery loans.
The Fiji Bloom project is the first of its kind designed to assist micro-entrepreneurs expand their businesses. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Belinda Zaria Williams' love for coffee inspired her into venturing into a business, becoming the newest cafe operator in Suva. Sawad Bistro opened in Flagstaff last week, and as Apinisa Wangairandovu reports, Williams was a former employee at the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation and says her expertise in sales and marketing is a bonus to her success.
Growing up, Williams always aimed to not settle for less, knowing that life has more to offer.
The journey was really great. However, I needed to pursue something different, something new. So when I left FBC, I started off my business, Bells Merchandise Fiji. That's to do with promotional merchandises for any corporate client.
The mother of one says apart from her natural desire to start a coffee business, she feels she can be a real drive in the market.
I feel there's a lack of premium coffee beans in terms of taste. And I thought I wanted to do something that I could give back to the community of Fiji. Not specifically only for them, but for myself as well.
Known to her friends as Sawad because of her love for food, she thought this was a fitting name for her business.
I've frequented a lot of restaurants internationally and locally. So whenever I went to a place to have a meal, if it was, tasty, delicious, I always had commented #Sawad. Hence, my friends started calling me Miss Sawad. And that's where the name Sawad Bistro came about.
Williams says she gets the determination and drive from her 6-year-old son.
What we are doing is for his future, and when he grows up, where he takes that to another level, we'll see when that time comes. Yeah.
She says setting her goals high and working towards it has helped her open 2 businesses in 1 year.
I've always put my career first before myself, hence why I'm where I am today. I would say that I'm a self-made woman, and just having my goals and my priorities right.
Sawat Bistro now employs 5 Fijians, and the young entrepreneur encourages those who want to start a business not to be afraid to try, as only then they will succeed. Apinisawang Gardovo, FBC News.
Coming up in sports, Suva crowned Vodafone Premier League champions. And Naita Siri shifts focus to Skipper Cup final.
Pula nadang go approach lang garse, go erkraki. Do televisión no barro na Radio Fiji 1 nandom ibit.
Radio Fiji 1 nandom ibit.
The Flovalve Suva side has been crowned the 2020 Vodafone Premier League champions. This is after they held 90-0 all draw in the VPL decider at Suva's ANZ Stadium today. The Whites needed a win or a draw to secure the VPL title as they led with 26 points on the standings after 13 rounds. Here are the highlights. In another match, Rewa came from behind in the last round of the Vodafone Premier League to beat Lautoka 5-3 at Churchill Park today. Koromakawa Navua saved the best for last and delivered the result when it mattered the most. Despite the slight drizzle at the Uprising Sports Centre yesterday, Navua defeated Nasinu 7-1, which cemented their spot in the Vodafone Premier League for next season. Karolaini Tavi with the details.
Lapse of concentration in the Nasidu defense saw Brian Cartier grabbing a double inside 3 minutes, first in the 37th and second in the 40th. The visitors managed to find the back of the Navua net through Ronald Lawrence a minute from halftime as Navua led 3-1. Navua continued their scoring momentum with goals from Manav Pramal, Moses Mbalinanganga, Apisai Smith, Thomas Dunn and Monique Chand. Navua coach Mohamed Shafil is happy with the win after his side were on the verge of being relegated to the senior division.
I was remembering when first Navua was demoted, I was still the coach, so it is a big burden on me. Not again Navua going to be relegated with my guidance. So it was a really big pressure on my head. I can feel a bit relief now.
Shafil says they came in with an agenda to win.
We had it in our mind that we're going to win today. Whatever happens, since it was a do and die situation, but we were really prepared to win today.
Navua captain Vinny Chan says to end the season with a win has been rewarding.
It was a very tough competition, I would say. Lagging behind from big teams, struggling at the bottom, always on the 8th position. Just recently, we just popped up from the skip past that Nasinu team.
The loss means Nasinu will be demoted to the senior division next year. Karolaini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Nandronga football side has been promoted to the Premier Division after hammering Boa 3-0 yesterday in the second leg of the Senior Division playoff. The Stallions headed into the final leg with a huge advantage as they had beaten Boa with the same goal margin in the first game. Felipe Naikaso has more.
2 goals from Taniela Raumbula and 1 from Charles Williams cemented Nandronga's spot in the Premier Division for next season.
It's been a long journey for us, 8 months and 15 hard games. But at the beginning we were confident and I trusted in the boys. The journey is over and now we look forward to the next level and the next season.
The Stallions were also unbeaten in the Premier Division, but Coach Williams says they will have to focus on the real task ahead.
But I don't go for records because records fall. I go for confirmance and consistency. And if I'm here next year in Nandronga, I will continue with the consistency and continue on the journey that we began in February.
Nandronga will now relish their chances in the big leagues.
We first had a plan in the beginning of the year
to get a few senior players to gel with our local new players. And once they were together, they breed into a very good side. And like the way they're playing soccer now, we are now ready to go and hit the big teams in Fiji.
In 2016, Nandronga was relegated to the senior division. Philippe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Naitasiri will be out to create its own legacy in the 2020 Skipper Cup final. It has almost been a decade since Naitasiri last won a domestic competition, and this is something they hope to achieve come next week. This was evident in Naitasiri's victory over Nandronga at Ratakathakambao Park in Nausori yesterday. Karlaini Tavi has more.
Waiting for it, Gavindi.
The seesaw encounter kept fans on the edge of their seats as Nandronga led 7-5 at half-time. Sireli Kalaudava powered his way over the Nandronga try-line to put Naitasiri back in the lead 10-7 in the second spell. A few minutes later, Choweli Lutumailangi leveled the score at 10-all through a successful penalty. Head coach Iletia Tuisese says he challenged the team and they were able to deliver the much-needed results.
It's been a while for us to play in the finals. Was challenging the boys. They can really go and give it a good shot, making the finals. I was telling them it's been 10 years since we last to take out the local comp back in 2010. So for them, they have to create their own history, their own legacy, and to go hard. They went all the way to the 80-minute.
Both teams were tied at 17-all at full-time, but it was Etonia Rokotuisawa who slotted a penalty at extra time to give Naitasiri the 2017 win.
I knew the Bonua and the team was relying on me to convert the kick and give us the win. I knew I was at stake and I took my time, and when the conversion was through I had mixed emotions and knew then we had won the game.
Defending Skipper Cup champion Suva will take on Naitasiri in the finals on Saturday. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Digicel Suva Volleyball Club League competition has been deemed a success following the first round of competition yesterday. More than 30 men's and women's teams were part of the competition. The tournament will run over the next 23 weeks. Interim General Secretary Semaima Langilangi says they're expecting the number of teams to increase in the next few weeks.
So there's a lot of teams that are still wanting to register with us. So as we continue with our club games every week, then we'll see that a lot more teams are coming in, a lot more new players and a lot of new talents. So then we will start to see how that will go on in terms of the games.
The Wallabies have restored some sorely needed pride after narrowly downing the All Blacks 24-22 in the Bledisloe Cup in Brisbane. New Zealand will still take the silverware across the Tasman, but tasted defeat for the first time in the 4-test series. And in weather, mainly fine conditions prevailed over the group, apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. In the west, mostly sunny conditions prevailed. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, mostly pleasant with a blend of sun and clouds. And up north, similar fine conditions prevailed. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 1:17 tomorrow morning, with low tide at 7:51. Sunrise is at 5:24. Outlook for tomorrow is to expect cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Our further outlook, we're looking further on to Tuesday. Expect much of the similar conditions. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Biden wins battle to become 46th U.S. president. Businessman threatens legal action against Feroz Ghulam Mohammed, and hundreds enjoy FBC's Diwali Doom Show. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should those found breaching LTA laws in buses be prosecuted? Visit our FBC website to answer. Be sure to send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, by Facebook page FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's the news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable new week ahead. Bye for now.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.